You know the feeling when you're totally locked in on an edit, hyperfocus is fully engaged and you've got like 100 things to do, and then you go to render and you hit the absolute brick wall of that render bar creeping along like a turtle? Well, DaVinci Resolve 21 is officially out of beta now, and they've done some serious black magic with this update. See what I did there? There were tons of updates in this new version, so what we're gonna do in this video is go over 5 new features that I think matter the most for creators like you and me. This isn't the marketing hype list, it's the ones that will genuinely change the way that you work. And yes, we'll get to that rendering thing in number 5, but there's more to it than you might think. So, secure the cup, and let's get into it. All right, kicking things off with one that I'm really excited that they added so I can tell people they no longer need to be afraid. If you've ever opened the color page, seen that web of nodes and just run away screaming, this one is for you. Resolve 21 finally gives you something a bit more familiar. So I've got 2 nodes on this clip, exposure and contrast. Normally these would just be serial nodes. They feed one into the next. But up in the top right of the node graph, I can flip from graph view into list view. And now they're a clean stack with exposure on the bottom and contrast on top. It works very much like you might be used to with adjustment layers. Whatever is on top affects everything below, so it goes bottom to top. It even handles more complicated setups like parallel nodes or layers. You just get the combiner right inside the list. Now, you can't drag the layers around in here to reorder them, but you can still add them, serial, parallel, or layer, or the same Option S, P, and L shortcuts that you would use in the nodes graph view. Now, here's why I actually like it. It's not some new tool to learn, it's the same nodes that you already had, but everyone visualizes and comprehends things differently. So if nodes always made the color page feel off limits to you, this is your way in. And keep that in your back pocket for now because the color page is going to be coming back in number 4. Number 2 is called IntelliSearch, and it's super helpful for sessions that have a lot of media. When you're looking for that specific shot of a very specific thing to fill a need in your edit, previously we were limited to titles and metadata, but now Resolve 21 can actually look at what's in the media itself. Quick heads up, this one is a Resolve Studio feature. First, in the top right of your media bins, hit the 3 dots and choose your IntelliSearch mode. You can pick either faster or better, and you can change it later, you'll just have to re-index, so I'll go with faster for now. Then up in the top left, there's a little speech bubble with a star in it. That's AI clip analysis. The drop down beside it allows you to choose all clips or just selected clips. Then click the button itself. You'll get a bunch of options. Analyze for IntelliSearch, faces, slate, transcription, speaker detection, even audio classification like dialogue, music, and sound effects. Then we can hit analyze, and if it's your first time doing this, it'll grab some packages. I just hit download all so I don't have to think about it again. And then once it's done that, we can go back and hit analyze again. My understanding of this is that it runs locally on your machine. Nothing goes up to the cloud, so depending on how much footage you've got, give it some time to go through this. Once it's done going through all the media, I can hit the magnifying glass and search for something like owl. And there's an owl. Or flowers. Now there's a bunch of stuff with flowers in it. Or lizard. And there's my little lizard friend. Now, I'll be honest, this is not quite perfect yet. A few random results seem to sneak in every time, and that yellow line is supposed to be where a word was said in the transcript. So if I search for lizard, it'll show where I said lizard, but I know I never said lizard out loud. So there's definitely still some kinks going on in there. You can also choose to search across all your bins or just the selected ones, and even pull individual segments when you're hunting for a spoken word. One little thing to note when you are searching, it doesn't actually pull anything up until you hit enter. But quirks and all, searching for footage by what's actually inside it, visually or by audio, is honestly kind of awesome. I can definitely think of a few projects that I wish I had this for. Number 3 is a bit of a small one, but I'll probably use it on every single project because I'm a huge audio and organization nerd. So if your audio timeline turns into a mess of tracks the second things start to get complex, this tidies it right up so that you can keep working without wanting to punch something. Over on the Fairlight page, I've got a pile of tracks. So I've got 4 dialogues, 1 camera audio, 2 music, 4 sound effects tracks, and I've already bussed each group, so I'm fairly organized already. But this makes it even cleaner. I'm gonna highlight my 4 dialogue tracks, right-click, add new tracks to a folder. Double-click to name it, give it a color, and collapse it. Same for music, and same for sound effects. Now, quick note, right now it defaults to open with the arrow in the closed position, so you have to kind of double-click it to close it yourself. Probably just an early version bug. But now, instead of staring at a wall of tracks, I've got 3 tidy folders. When one's collapsed, you can still highlight and delete things inside it. You just can't move things around or copy and paste unless you expand it first. And the folders carry over to the mixer as well. Now, this works really well for me because I work in passes. So I do my dialogue first, and then I do my music, and then I do my sound effects. So I can just collapse the ones that I'm not touching and just focus on the ones that I am. Now, I do have one wish. I'd love if these were routing folders, where the folder itself acts as the audio bus, with its own volume, effects, and panning, the way that Pro Tools does it. Right now, they are organizational only, so I still have to build my buses on the side like I always did. Maybe that's coming later. Either way, for cleaning up a busy timeline, I will take what they've given me. All right, number 4 is for the photographers who also make videos, the new photo page. Right beside the media page, there's a new tab called Photo. Now, I'm gonna jump in and drag some photos down to where it says create an album. So now I've got a photo album, which is kind of like a timeline. So some of these are JPEGs, some of them are RAW files. So yes, you can edit RAW files right inside Resolve. I'll grab one, and then on the right, you get everything that you'd expect from a photo editor. So you've got crop, rotate, position, plus some familiar adjustments like temperature, tint, lift, gamma, gain, contrast. And because this is a RAW file, there's actually a RAW panel too. This is the part that I'm most excited about. It's a Sony RAW, so I get decode quality, white balance, color space, and gamma. So I can actually set the color space to sgamut 3 Cine and the gamma to slog 3 exactly like I would with my video files. And here's the magic part. Now I can jump over to the color page and grade this photo with the exact same process that I use on my footage. I can apply a power grade with a bunch of nodes or layers if you prefer, CST, exposure, contrast, my look creator, CST out, the same grading tools, same effects, and potentially the most exciting is the same vector scope, waveform, and other monitoring tools that I use for my video color grading. I can't count the amount of times I wish that I had a skin tone line and a vector scope in Lightroom or Capture One. And that's the part that gets me. Everything that I already know and love from grading video, I can point straight at my photos now. So if you're a hybrid shooter like I am, this is genuinely a big deal. Okay, before the final feature, a quick lightning round, a handful of other updates that are worth knowing. No deep dives, just so that they're on your radar. Render Magic Mask in place so you can bake it in and stop retracking every time. Actual spell check for your text, finally. A new font browser. Tabbed bins so your media pool works just like browser tabs. A picture-in-picture preset, perfect for a quick face cam. H.265 encoding is now included in the free version. And honestly, any one of those could probably be its own video, but the one that I've been saving for last is the one that I probably care about the most. Which brings us all the way to back where we started, that render wall that you run into. Quick heads up, this one is a Resolve Studio feature as well. Up till now, when you hit render, it basically holds your whole project hostage while it works. But now, head into Resolve Preferences, into the new Background Task section, and turn on Enable Background Renders. You can even have it pause when you're working in the foreground, and there are options for background transcription and background proxy generation as well. So before, I tried to render this file, but it locks up the whole program while it works, and I can't do anything else. Now, with background renders turned on, if I clear that render, hit render all, instead of sitting here waiting, I can jump right back into the edit page and keep working, different timeline or whatever I want. Down in the bottom right, there's a new background tasks button so you can actually watch the render chugging away while you keep cutting. So now I can start the render on my horizontal edit and I can go straight into working on the vertical version of the same video while it works in the background. And for the way that I work, jumping between timelines all day, this not only saves time, but it also keeps me in the flow, which is so awesome. So that's my 5, the layer list view, IntelliSearch, Fairlight folder tracks, the photo page, and background renders. And as always, I want to hear from you. Out of these 5, which one are you actually going to use the most? Or did I leave one of your favorite new updates out? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And on your way down there, hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification button so you don't miss what's next. If you want to watch some more Resolve videos, there are lots on my channel for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.